how are my sales trending? Yeah, here, as you can see, I've been coding with AI for more than 5,000 hours. I built infrastructure for 7- and 8-figure companies. And what I see is that most AI tools just give you simple SQL queries. That's why a few days ago, I made a full AI data analyst, and now I made it a lot smarter. I gave it 8 advanced analysis tools so it can look into your data, understand what your company works like, and basically help you make more money. So in this video, I'll show you how it works, I'll demo it live, and I'll give you the full code for free, and also how you set it up. All right, so let's go and explain how this AI agent works, but I'll do it in a simple way so even non-technical people can understand. First, we get a user query on an AI chat, right? For example, what kind of customers do I have? Then the AI agent will get the database schema. This is how the database is structured. What tables name do we have? What column names do we have, and so on. Then the AI agent will generate an SQL query, and it will actually execute that SQL query in the database in a safe way. If there's an error, we will send that error back to the AI. It will generate again with the fix. If there are many errors, we will just return an error message. If there's no error, then we will get some data, and with the user query and the data that we got that is relevant for that query, AI will have to make a decision. So the decision will be, do we respond with just one text, just one paragraph? Do we respond with a text and a plot, so like a visualization? Or do we do some deep analysis? For this decision, the AI can return either of these, and if it returns the deep analysis option, it will also return what tool it has to use inside the deep analysis. So there are different kind of tools, such as clustering, trend analysis, whatever. I will explain you later in the code part, but this is just an overview. So let's start with the simplest. With the text only, it will just generate a summary of the data that it got back, and we will show that in the chat. Very simple. Second option is, first it generates a summary of what the data has. Then it generates some visualization code in Python of like a plot or a bar plot or a line plot or box plot, whatever it thinks that is needed, it will just generate that, and it will actually execute the code that it generates. This will be done in a safe sandbox environment. And after that, it just displays that visualization and the summary from here. If we choose deep analysis, we run the deep analysis tool, we get the results. Then we decide if we need some extra visualization. If so, we generate and execute the code and then do some interpretation. And then we show everything in the chat. So let's go and see how this actually works in real life. So here it is. This is the actual AI data analyst. As you can see, I made the UI look a bit better. Let's go and try with this question, which is a simple one, I think. How are my sales trending? How is it growing? So let's see. Yeah, here, as you can see, I'm using some fake e-commerce data, and it does the revenue over time. It also gives us moving average to see, on average, how are we doing. And it also gives us the growth rate percentage. So are we growing? Are we not growing? On December, we lost a bit. So yeah, that's nice. Let's do another analysis now. For example, this about what products are performing the best. We would like to see, what revenue we get from what products, so we can see on which ones we should double down. Yeah, here it is. So it made a Pareto analysis. So this means like what products do we have that give us 80% of the revenue. So as we can see, with half of the products, we already get to 80% of revenue, which is, I guess, usual with these kind of stores. Just to make sure, let's ask a follow-up question. So about the plot you made, does it mean that the first products until lifting belt make 80% of revenue? And these follow-up questions also have the entire context of the conversation. So, it's very helpful to ask if a plot is confusing, like here. Yeah, here. So it gave us a bit of a clarification of what we have here. And as you can see, it only responds with a text here, because if you remember from the last part of the video, we have an option to only respond with text. Let's do another test, which is this one. I think that here it should run clustering analysis to get all the possible dimensions, all the data that we have of the customers, which are like many different dimensions, and try to make it groups in that high dimensional space. And this is what it gets. Here in a two-dimensional plot, it's not easy to get because actually we're trying to make groups in 2 dimensions in this visualization, but the algorithm that the AI ran actually made this clustering with many more dimensions. So you have to imagine this in like a 3rd dimension kind of thing where, you know, these groups would make more sense. So for example, we have dormant people that have made some orders and have spent some money, but you know, the last order was a long time ago. That's why it's dormant. But you know, we cannot see this in the plot, but it's very useful. And then we have what the customer's average total spend is per cluster actually. So yeah, this is pretty helpful. We can obviously go a lot deeper and ask follow-up questions and so on. But yeah, now I'll go through the code and help you set it up. So this is the code. As you can see, it's a Python project. It has some sales DB, which is like a mock DB, to be honest, and then a React frontend. So let's go and do the setup from here. I'll remove this and let's start. So first thing that you have to do is git clone and paste the repository URL. You will have that in the description. You have to click in the description and then copy the repository URL. Then you cd into to this folder, then to backend. So cd backend. Then you create a Python environment. Then you activate it, obviously. So I actually have to activate it. And then you have to run this command to install all the libraries inside this Python environment. Then you have to create a file that is called .env. Here I have it. I'm not going to open it. In the backend directory and paste this. Basically, you will have to write this and then paste your OpenAI API key here. Then once you have done that, you just have to do the migration. So just execute this and then you have to feed the mock data into the database. So this is what this seed.py does. It's optional, but if you want to run this with demo data that I run with, which is this fitness data, that's what you have to do. And then with this command, you just run the backend server. So that's pretty easy, but frontend is even easier. So first thing is doing cd frontend, then you install the dependencies for the frontend with this command, and then you just run it with this. And it runs. And then you open this URL, and here you have it. So yeah, now you can run this AI agent on your computer and you have all the code. What I would suggest is that instead of having this sales database, you actually connect it to your real database so it works for your company. That's it for the video. I'm actually running some free consultation calls, like AI strategy calls. So if you want, you can book a call with me there. We will just talk about your business. And yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon.